AstroDharma can help with healthy relationships in a lot of different ways. One of the first places I would look for tips about relationships and style of relating is to look at where the moon is in our chart. The moon represents our mother, and so it also represents our first relationship, our close relationship with our mother, how we related with her, the feelings that went between us, and the nurturing that went between us. So in our chart, it represents all these things about ourselves, our feelings, our sense of nurturing, and our earliest patterns about relating. It also represents our body. So these are also important in any significant relationship. It's also important to note that depending on where our moon is and where the moon is of our partner or partners, these could be in really different places. So it's important to remember that we don't all feel nurtured in the same way. We don't all have styles of relationship that are similar. Our styles could be quite different. So it's important to be aware of that. Another place I'd look at to give clues about relationships and what kind of relationship I need and my partner or partners need, I would look at Venus. So Venus is also about relationships, but it's different from the moon. Venus is about what we value, what we find important. And so what we value is what we find attractive. And that has to do with what we find attractive in others and what we want people to be attracted to in ourselves as well. So Venus represents this. It's similar to the anima in the Jungian paradigm. Another place I'd look for clues to good relationships would be Mars. So that would be the counterpart to Venus. It would be what images, where our Mars is in our chart shows us what kind of images we have of what a man is or what masculine energy is. And so that's going to be a part of us, and that's also going to be something, those are going to be qualities that we look for in another person. Now this leads us to a really key place for information about how relationships work inside our psyches, and that's the 7th house. So every astrological chart has 12 houses, and the 7th house covers the area of one-on-one relationships. Now the 7th house is directly opposite the ascendant. So the ascendant is the sign that was on the horizon when we were born, right in front of us. So it's kind of how we see the world. The 7th house is the opposite. It's what sign was below the horizon when we were born. So interestingly, the descendant is a place that we cannot see. So this is a part of ourselves. It's usually buried, it's usually our shadow, and it's usually something that we try to outsource to another person. We try to get them to do this function or have these qualities for us to bring them into our lives. And that's a lot to ask of another person. It also means that we're not really integrating everything about ourselves. So when we know what we have in our 7th house, we can work on owning those qualities ourselves. We don't try to get another person to do it for us. That makes us healthier individuals, and then we can bring that good health to any relationship that we're in. That's so important, not trying to get people to be who we can't be ourselves. Final thing I would look at to help with healthy relationships would be communication. So that would be Mercury and the 3rd house, because even if we know all these things about ourselves or we know all these things about our partner, we still need to communicate about them. We need to negotiate, we need to share what our experience is, and communication is so important in any relationship and in life in general. So those are some key pointers to get us started, and I wish you all very healthy relationships. If you'd like to learn more about AstroDharma, we have a very wonderful online self-guided course called Introduction to AstroDharma, and you can learn more about that at planetdharma.com.